The law office was way too bright for a day like that. Outside, Manhattan looked like a dirty photograph. Winter gray, slush piled at the curb, wind cutting off the avenues. My coat still smelled like wet sidewalk and stale lobby coffee. Inside was all fluorescent light and dead air. Old paper, burnt coffee, a heater ticking in the corner like it was thinking about quitting. I sat at the end of the table with my hands folded, fingers numb, face calm, back straight. If I looked controlled, maybe I could borrow that feeling. Dana Parker sat across from me, polished to a shine, black dress, pearls, soft lips that could turn cruel without changing shape. You can feel a room choose its favorite. A few relatives I barely knew hovered behind her, extended family, the kind that shows up when someone dies and money needs a new address. They watched me like I was either entertainment or a warning. Martin Hale sat near the head of the table, folder squared, pen perfectly lined up. No small talk, no comfort, just facts. He cleared his throat. "Thank you for coming." Dana gave the room a sad little nod, like she was auditioning for sympathy. Eyes dry, perfect. I watched Martin's hands instead. Steady, professional. The only thing in the room that didn't look hungry. This is where grief gets priced. Paper whispered as he opened the file. Names, dates, the kind of language that tries to make death sound tidy. Then he got to the point. "Per the will," Martin said. "The primary residence, the investment accounts, and the majority interest in the family holdings are bequeathed to Dana Parker." Dana didn't gasp, didn't blink. She just exhaled like she'd been holding her victory since the funeral. Winners never look surprised. I waited for my name. I waited for my dad to show up in the words. Something, anything that proved I mattered on paper, even if I didn't in her house. Martin turned a page. "And to Alex Parker," he said, "the sum of $1. $1. That's it." The silence that followed wasn't respectful. It was clinical. The kind of quiet where people study your face for cracks. Dana blinked once. Then she smiled like she'd been handed dessert. "Oh my God," she said, laughing too loud for a room that smelled like toner and death. $1. She pinched the bill between two fingers and flicked it across the table. It floated down, hit my chest, and slid into my lap. Someone shifted. Someone coughed. Nobody corrected her. Nobody said, "That's his kid." Silence is a vote. Dana tilted her head. "At least he was honest," she murmured. "That's your value." I looked up, met her eyes for one clean second, gave her nothing. No tears, no rage, no shaky voice. She wanted a scene. She wanted me messy. Martin's gaze flicked to me, quick, unreadable, then back to the papers. I picked up the $1, smoothed it flat, and slid it into my pocket. Sometimes not reacting is the only power you get. Dana's smile tightened a fraction, like she didn't expect me to keep it. Martin kept reading, but the rest blurred. Coats, chairs, polite murmurs. People avoiding my eyes like I was contagious. Dana stood and put her grief mask back on for the room. "I'll handle everything," she said softly. "It's what he would have wanted." "Sure." I stood too, slow, controlled. My hand stayed in my pocket, wrapped around that bill like it was a bruise. And that's when I felt it. A hard edge. A fold that didn't belong. Something hugged tight against the paper. That $1 had weight. But the $1 wasn't alone. I could feel it even while everyone stood up and tried to act human. Chairs scraping, coats tugged on. That fake soft tone people use when they don't know what to say. Dana floated through it like a queen in black. She hugged the right shoulders, pressed her fingertips to her chest at the right moments. Let her voice wobble just enough to sell grief without losing control. Then the room thinned. The last eyes drifted away. The door clicked shut behind the stragglers. And Dana switched. Subtle. Instant. Like her face remembered its real job. The smile died. The eyes cooled. The voice dropped into something private and mean. "Well," she said, looking me up and down like I was lint. "That went about how it should." I kept my expression flat, hand still in my pocket. She wasn't done with me. Martin was stacking papers, neat as a machine. He didn't really look at either of us. Dana leaned closer. Her perfume cut through the stale office air. Expensive floral. Too alive for a day like this. "You can stop with the brave act," she said. Nobody bought it. "I'm not acting," I said. 2 words, even tone. She gave a small laugh, not the public one. This one was just for me. "You're not family, Alex. You're leftover." Leftover. Like something shoved to the back of the fridge. "She finally said it out loud," Martin tried, polite. "If you have questions about the will..." Dana lifted one finger without looking at him. "No questions. We're good." Then she turned back to me. "You, on the other hand, have instructions." My jaw tightened. Not enough to show, just enough to feel. "What instructions?" I asked. She smiled thin. "You don't get to wander around the house anymore." There it was. The house. The doors. The drawers. Everything that used to feel like home before she turned it into territory. She wasn't grieving. She was locking me out. "I'll pack your things," she said. "The essentials. Don't make it dramatic." "That's my father's house," I said. And even saying it out loud sounded like a lie now. Dana's eyes flashed. "My husband's house." She stepped closer. "And before you get any ideas, locks changed tonight. Codes, too." Of course. Dana always moved like she had a blueprint. The dollar pressed into my knuckles again. That hard fold. Then she said it, casual like weather. "There's nothing for you in those rooms. There never was." She owned the room, and my first instinct was to believe her. That's what she trained me to do. Because Dana didn't start today. She'd been sanding me down for years. Quiet, patient, like she was polishing a table and I was the scratch she couldn't stand. It started small. Don't leave dishes. Don't play music. Don't talk back. Don't stress your father. Then it got bigger. Don't bring people over. Don't ask about money. Don't touch the cabinet in Dad's office, especially not that cabinet. Dad's office always had its own air, warm lamplight, leather chair, ink and dust. He'd sit in there late when he thought everyone was asleep. Sometimes I'd pass the door and hear paper shifting, a pen scratching, soft, careful. And if I stepped closer, he'd go quiet, like he was hiding something from her or saving it for me. Once, just once, he caught me looking at the locked drawer. He didn't scold me, didn't smile. He just said, low, "Don't open that unless you're told." Then he slid the key into his pocket like it was his pulse. I didn't understand. I just felt the warning stick to my ribs. Back in the office, Dana tapped her nails, impatient. "Are we done?" Martin cleared his throat. "I can provide copies." "Send them to me," Dana cut in. Of course, always to her. She turned to leave, then paused at the door like she'd almost forgotten I existed. "Oh," she said, sweet for 1 second because it amused her. "Try not to spend it all in one place." She glanced at my pocket. She knew about the dollar. She didn't know what it was, yet. And I wasn't giving her time to learn. I walked out without looking back. The elevator ride down felt like a slow drop into reality. The hum overhead, the stale air, my reflection in the metal doors looking calmer than I felt. When the doors opened, winter slapped me in the face. Street slush, tailpipe fumes. That sharp cold that makes your eyes water even when you refuse to cry. My breath fogged as I stepped into the sidewalk flow. People moved around me like I was a rock in a river. Cars hissed through puddles. A siren wailed somewhere far off, like the city couldn't care less that my dad was gone. My hand stayed in my pocket the whole time. The dollar burned like a dare. Every few steps, that hard edge pressed into my palm again. Fold, thickness, something that shouldn't be there if it was just money. I stopped under a streetlight and let the snow mist settle on my shoulders. I pulled the bill out and stared at it. $1, wrinkled, ordinary. Except it wasn't. The paper was too stiff in one spot, like something was clinging to it. And right then, I knew. Whatever my dad left me didn't fit in that room. I started to unfold it. The bill felt heavier than it should. I didn't open it under that streetlight. Not out there. Not with the city watching and my hands just shaky enough to ruin everything. I waited until I was home. My apartment was quiet in that lonely New York way. Radiator clicking, traffic hissing through the window. A neighbor's TV murmuring through the wall like an argument I didn't want. I kicked off my shoes, dropped my coat, turned on the desk lamp. Warm light, small circle. Everything else stayed gray. I laid the dollar on the desk like it was evidence, like it could bite if I treated it like cash. That's when I saw it. A tight fold along the edge. Too clean to be wear, too deliberate to be random. I slipped my fingernail under it and peeled it back. A tiny envelope slid out, thin as a razor. Sealed, unmarked. The kind of thing you'd miss if you weren't looking for it. My dad's handwriting was on the front. Not Alex, not my name at all, just 2 words. For you. My throat closed. Grief doesn't always crash in. Sometimes it creeps. A hot pressure behind your eyes. Your body trying to cry while your pride holds the door shut. I stared at the envelope too long. Because hope is dangerous when you've been trained not to expect it. If this was nothing, it would finish me. Dana's voice replayed in my head. Leftover, not family. $1. I pictured her face if she knew this was in my hands. The way her eyes would sharpen. The way she'd reach for it like she owned it. I picked up the envelope carefully, like it was fragile. Like it was the last clean thing my dad left behind. The seal wasn't fancy, just pressed tight. Intention, not drama. I hesitated. 1 more second and I could put it back. Pretend I never found it. Pretend the last thing he gave me was humiliation. But I didn't get to be weak, not with Dana still breathing. So I broke the seal. The paper made that soft whisper sound as I unfolded it. 1 page. No letterhead. No legal talk. Just my dad. Direct. The first line punched me. Alex, if you're reading this, Dana already thinks she won. Heat crawled up my neck like I'd been caught. Like he could still see the room, still see her smile. I kept reading. He didn't explain the public will with fancy words. He just named it. A decoy. Not for me, for her. He wrote, "She will perform grief. She will perform innocence. She will perform victory." Then the line that stuck in my chest. Dad left me a key. Not money, not comfort. A key. He wrote, "The dollar matters. Keep it. Do not hand it back. Do not throw it away. Do not refuse it." My fingers tightened around the bill. I could see the will reading again. Dana's laugh. The way she watched my hands. And I finally understood what I didn't want to admit. She wanted me to reject it, to storm out, to make a scene. So she could label me ungrateful, unstable, unworthy. She wasn't just cruel, she was hunting an outcome. Dad's letter kept going. There is a second will, the real one, sealed and protected. No lecture, no courtroom fantasy, just instructions. Take the dollar and this letter to Martin Hale. Only him, not the lawyer you met today, not anyone Dana recommends. Martin is my private attorney. He will know what to do. My chest tightened. Martin, the quiet man with the perfect pen. The only person in that room who didn't look like he wanted a piece of me. Dad wrote, "Do not tell Dana. Do not confront her. Do not warn her. Move like you're still grieving. Let her believe the first will is the only will." I swallowed hard. because I could already see the ways this could go wrong. If Dana sensed I had something, she'd come for it. She'd call it hers. She'd call me a thief. She'd twist the story until she was the victim and I was the threat. That's her gift. She doesn't fight fair. She fights quiet. I read the letter twice, then again. Not because it was long, because my brain kept trying to reject it. It felt too clean, too perfect, like the kind of twist that only happens in stories. But my dad wasn't a storyteller. He was careful. He was cautious. He locked drawers. He kept keys close. Now I knew why. He didn't trust Dana with the truth. He trusted me with the key. I sat back and stared at the dollar on the desk, a stupid little bill that had turned into the sharpest object in my life. The radiator clicked like a countdown. The city hissed outside like it didn't care. I thought about Dana changing the locks tonight. I thought about her packing my things like she was doing me a favor. I thought about how fast she moved when she smelled certainty. So I decided to move faster. I folded the letter, slid it back into the envelope, tucked the envelope behind the dollar, the way my dad had hidden it for a reason. I grabbed my coat, my phone, my keys. Then I paused at the door and listened to the hallway. Nothing. Good. Because if Dana senses this, she'll strike. I stepped out into the winter night and pulled the door shut behind me. If she finds out I moved, I'm dead in the water. That thought stayed glued to me all the way to Martin Hale's building. Manhattan at night is different. Wind knifing between towers, slush turned to black paste, people walking fast like the cold is chasing them. I kept my head down, my pace normal. No sprinting, no panic, just controlled. Dana taught me that much. Act like you have nothing. I walked in like I'd already lost. Martin's office was quiet in that sterile way. Fluorescent buzz, old paper, coffee that had been sitting too long, winter light through the blinds, striping the carpet gray. He didn't greet me. He just looked up, eyes steady, and held out his hand. Not for a handshake, for the letter. I slid the envelope across like I was handing over contraband. The dollar came with it, folded tight behind the paper. Martin didn't ask where I got it, didn't ask how I found it, didn't ask if I was okay. He studied it. Seal, fold, ink, pen pressure. Like he could feel my dad's hand through the page. His fingers were precise. No tremor, no hesitation. Like this moment had been waiting in a drawer. The silence felt like a trap door. I sat across from him, back straight, hands still. I kept my breathing shallow so my body wouldn't snitch. Outside, traffic hissed on wet streets. A distant horn. A siren far enough to be a rumor. Inside, just paper moving, and the soft click of Martin's pen as he set it down perfectly straight. Finally, he looked up. "Where is Dana?" he asked. "Winning," I said. One word. Bitter. True. Something tightened behind Martin's eyes, like he understood exactly what that meant. He tapped the envelope once. "This is your father's handwriting." My throat tightened. I didn't show it. I kept going, calm. Seal matches, paper matches. Fold is intentional. Then he said the line that changed the air. He planned for this. Not a comfort, not a guess, a forecast. I couldn't tell if that was mercy or a warning. Because if my dad planned for this, he expected Dana to be Dana. He expected his house to become a trap. Martin opened a drawer, not the squeaky kind, the kind that glides because it's built to keep secrets. He pulled out a thin, sealed file. Heavy paper, clean edges. No label except a small marking in my dad's hand. Just a date. The date my father died. My stomach dropped. Martin set it between us like a knife laid flat. "This is the sealed instrument," he said. I didn't ask what it meant. I didn't want a lecture. I wanted the truth. Martin watched my face for a beat, measuring. Then he asked, "Are you sure you want this open tonight?" My hands went cold, because that was the real question. Once it opens, it moves. It becomes real in a way Dana can't laugh off, and it puts a target on me. Dana doesn't fear truth. She fears losing control of it. I swallowed once. Yes. No drama, no speech. Martin nodded, like he respected the simplicity. He picked up a plain metal letter opener, not ceremonial, just a tool. He positioned the file with care, then sliced the seal. The sound was small. In my head, it was thunder. That seal breaking sounded like a gun cocking. Martin pulled the pages out and squared them, eyes scanning fast, confirming. No pause for effect, no theatrics, which made it worse. My phone buzzed once in my pocket. One vibration. I didn't look, but my spine tightened. Dana. She could smell motion from miles away. Martin lifted the first page. His expression didn't change, but his gaze sharpened. Then he started reading. "Under the terms of this instrument," he said, "the beneficiary who accepted the $1 bequest." My breath caught. That first line cut clean. Martin opened his mouth, and everything changed. "Under the terms of this instrument," he read, "the beneficiary who accepted the $1 bequest in the public will is the only party eligible to inherit the remaining estate." My brain stalled for a second, like it didn't want to believe it. $1. Eligible. Everything else. My humiliation wasn't random. It was a switch. Martin looked up just to make sure I was still with him. "In plain terms," he said, "your father built a trigger." "A trigger," I repeated, barely breathing. "Acceptance," he said. He didn't say it like poetry. He said it like wiring. I felt the dollar in my pocket like it had a pulse. Dana threw it at me like trash, and I picked it up, smoothed it, kept it, because I refused to let her decide what I could hold. That petty little choice just bought my whole life back. Martin turned a page. "If the named recipient refuses the $1 bequest," he read, "the secondary distribution becomes effective." My stomach sank. I could see the alternate version of me, storming out, throwing it back, giving Dana exactly what she wanted. Her smirk wasn't just cruelty, it was bait. Martin's eyes flicked to the bill on the desk. "Did you accept it?" "Yes," I said. My voice stayed even, my hands went colder. Martin nodded. "Then you qualify." It didn't feel like fireworks. It felt like a lock clicking open inside my chest. And the truth hit hard and simple. She made me accept. Dana tried to shame me into rejecting it, but she underestimated the one thing she never managed to sand out of me: spite. She thought shame would make me drop it. She was wrong. Martin kept reading. "The primary residence located in Manhattan," he said, "is hereby transferred to Alex Parker." My throat tightened. "The investment accounts," he read, "and all associated banking assets transferred to Alex Parker." My stomach flipped. "And the controlling interest in the family holdings," he said, "including shares and distributions, transferred to Alex Parker." It didn't feel lucky. It felt engineered. Like my dad sat behind that locked drawer, hearing Dana's footsteps, and built this like a blueprint for survival. He didn't leave me $1. He left me a trap door. I waited for the catch, the fine print, the "unless Dana objects." Nothing. Martin's voice sharpened, not with emotion, with judgment. He slid out a second stack from the file, thicker, tabbed, organized. "This," he said, "was kept separate." He tapped the top page. "Documentation. I looked down. Not legal essays, not drama. Evidence. Time-stamped notes, copies, lists of access changes, photocopies of signatures with tiny differences circled in pen. My dad's handwriting in the margins, calm and precise. My skin went tight. This wasn't just inheritance, it was exposure. Dad didn't just predict her, he boxed her in. Your father believed the public instrument would provoke behavior, Martin said. Dana, I said. Martin didn't argue. He anticipated attempts to modify records, redirect mail, alter access. I stared at the pages and felt grief hit clean and hot. Not because he was gone, because he'd been living with this, quietly, while I was still trying to be good enough. He fought her in silence, so I could win in daylight. My phone buzzed again, then again. Then a call lit up my screen. Dana. Martin glanced at it. He said nothing. I answered. Hello? Her voice was sweet. Too sweet. Alex. That one syllable had teeth. You left quickly, she said. Where are you? At home, I lied. The first lie always tastes like metal. Dana hummed. Funny, I called earlier and you went to voicemail. Shower, I said. Sure. Her tone hardened. We need to talk about what happened. We already did, I said. Her breath hit the line, tight and controlled. Don't be difficult. There she was, the real Dana. The one who thinks boundaries are disrespect. Are you with another attorney? She asked, casual, like she was asking what I ate for dinner. My pulse jumped. Martin sat still, watching like a metronome. I kept my voice flat. Why would I be? Dana gave a small, ugly laugh. Because you're not as broken as you should be. Then she slipped. You didn't throw it away, she snapped. The dollar. My stomach dropped. She hadn't seen me after I left. She shouldn't know what I did with it, unless she already knew it mattered. She didn't accuse me, she confessed. I let a beat hang there, just one, long enough for her to hear herself. Why do you care? I asked, soft. Her voice rose. Because it's mine. Mine. Not the estate, not your father's wishes. Mine. Her mask was gone. Bring it back, she said. Now. Then she dug deeper without realizing it. You have no right to take anything from his office, she snapped. No right to touch his papers. My skin went cold. His office. His papers. I hadn't mentioned either. Neither had Martin. Dana just named the place she was scared of. She wasn't guessing. She was bleeding truth. I looked at Martin. He lifted his brows like, there it is. Dana's voice went sharp, desperate. Alex, don't be stupid. If you go digging, I will bury you. I kept my tone calm, almost bored. You already tried, I said. A tiny silence. Then she hissed, where is Martin Hale? And that was it. She knew his name. She knew he mattered. And she knew time was running out. I ended the call. Click. The silence afterward felt heavy, clean, final. Martin squared the papers like he was closing a file on a solved problem. Outside, the city kept hissing. Inside, my pulse slowed into something cold and clear. Dana was going to make one last move, and this time, I was ready to end it. She panicked and reached for control anyway. It didn't land. Dana tried the old tricks first. Pressure, shame, the I'm the widow voice like a loaded gun. Then the fast tricks, text, calls, more calls. voicemails with that tight breath rage she thought she could hide under sweetness. Martin didn't chase her, didn't argue, didn't raise his voice. He did what my dad built him for. He documented. Copies, logs, timestamps, the evidence packet resealed like it was meant to survive a fire. Dana couldn't bully paper. My phone lit up one last time. Dana. I answered on the second ring, calm. What? Not a question, a wall. Her voice was raw now. You think you won? I didn't think, I said. I read. She exhaled hard. That file is fake. It's dated, I said. Silence. Then she went low and nasty. Your father was sick. He didn't know what he signed. He knew what you were, I said. Her mask split open. No, she hissed. He knew what you were. A problem. A mistake. I let it hit the floor. I'd heard that song for years. The difference is, I wasn't bleeding this time. She kept talking too fast, spiraling. You don't get to come back. You don't get to take my home. Not your home, I said. Her breath stuttered. I changed the locks. I know, I said. Good, she spat. Then you know where you stand. I looked at Martin. He slid a small ring of keys across the desk. Cold metal, heavy, real. Under it, one page. My name, clean. No speech, no confetti, just proof. Dana was still ranting, but I stopped listening. Her power was always the performance. Performances die when nobody watches. I ended the call. Click. Her silence afterwards said more than her threats. I stepped into the winter night with the keys in my palm. Courthouse gray sky, wind pushing under my collar, my fingers stinging from the cold. Warm building lobbies glowed behind glass. Everyone inside looked safe. Everyone outside looked like they were late to something. I walked anyway, steady. No running, no celebrating, just steps. The closer I got to the house, the quieter everything felt, like the city knew this wasn't about money, it was about belonging. I reached the front door, the same door Dana claimed with her voice, the same door I was told I didn't deserve to touch. I held the key up under the porch light, breath fogging, hands cold. I slid it in. It turned like it recognized me. Click. Clean. Final. That sound was my name coming home. I didn't rush inside. I stood there a second, letting the silence soak in. No Dana, no fake grief, no sweet rules hiding teeth, just the hum of the building, heat whispering somewhere in the walls. I stepped in and shut the door. Then I pulled out the dollar, wrinkled, ordinary, the same piece of paper she threw at me like trash. I smoothed it with my thumb. That dollar bought justice. Not because it was worth anything, because it proved I didn't flinch. I didn't toss it back like she wanted. I stayed controlled long enough to see the trap. The insult was the key, and she handed it to me. I walked into my dad's old office. It still smelled like him. Paper, ink, dust, a faint ghost of coffee. The drawer was open now. Inside was a small folded note. No envelope, no seal. Like it didn't need protection. My dad's handwriting. Steady. I opened it. 2 lines. When she tries again, don't argue. End it.